Hey guys, what's up? NDP, the Neo Digital Podcast here. I'm your homie Jolly Dangerous. This is my co-host Denonu.
Yep.
And just recently, 10 hours ago, something else happened. A shooting of a black man, a 27-year-old Rayshard Brooks. We're gonna watch the video and see what happened. And again, everything is speculation.
Atlanta, after cell phone video emerged of the deadly shooting of 27-year-old Rayshard Brooks. We want to warn you, this video may be disturbing. Police say they were called to a Wendys on a report of a man sleeping in his car and blocking other drivers. After they woke Brooks up, they say he failed a DUI test and then resisted arrest, getting into a scuffle with police, which continued for some time before he's seen on the video getting up and running from the officers. But the Georgia Bureau of Investigation came out just a short time ago to say the video doesn't tell the whole story, promising to release their own video. Well, just a few moments ago, they did. Take a look. It's surveillance video that picks up after the cell phone video ends with Brooks running from police. And it appears to show Brooks turning toward police and firing the taser. Police fire, and he drops to the ground. Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms weighed in just a few minutes ago, calling for quick action against the officer involved.
While there may be debate as to whether this was an appropriate use of deadly force, I firmly believe that there is a clear distinction between what you can do and what you should do. I do not believe that this was a justified use of deadly force and have called for the immediate termination of the officer.
The mayor also announced that longtime Atlanta Police Chief Erica Shields will step aside as the city launches, quote, a national search for new leadership. I want to bring in Mark Claxton, director of the Black Law
You can stop
Enforcement
it there.
Alliance and Atlanta.
Okay.
All right, so she said you can see what happened in the video, but the mayor said it's not a clear distinction of if it was justified or not, and that it's one of those cases of should do or shouldn't do type things. And to me, that's not a choice that anyone else can make. And she said she believes that it's one of those situations. That's your opinion of what you believe.
Yeah.
None of that stuff that you said was like cut and dry. This is what you should or shouldn't do. And I think that's the problem with law enforcement now. Well, not just law enforcement, but the leadership in law enforcement, is that you don't have clear rules of what should and shouldn't be done.
Mm-hmm.
And then something like this happens and you don't know who to stand behind, because you have a belief in yourself that this may or may not have been justified. You should be able to see that. You should be able to look at footage and tell. That, to me, that doesn't make any fucking sense. Let alone what happened in the video. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's one of those things where the guy was clearly in the wrong, but at the same time, it's like it was a non-lethal weapon. So why did the cop shoot him if he has a non-lethal weapon? Because that weapon couldn't have killed the cop. I mean, I guess unless he magically shot him in the eyes with the taser or something, but it's like, where do you draw that line? Like you said, it needs to be clear cut. It needs to be, if subject does this, you do this. You're not allowed to do this. That's the way it needs to be. Like if he's running away, I don't see why they had to shoot him, but chase him down on foot, tackle him like they do in the movies. Or what's that? I think they got a law somewhere where it's like, okay, if you shoot somebody below the waist, it's non-lethal. Shoot him in the leg or something. I mean, I don't know.
Well, see, all right, with the shooting part, every time you're at a gun range, they always tell you to shoot center mass.
Because you're trained to kill something, not wound something.
Yeah,
that's the point.
Yeah, I don't think any police officer is trained to wound something. They're trained to put something down. And we've seen plenty of times where, victims have been shot in the back by police.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. In the article, it says that. Oh, can we go to the article, please?
Yeah, I already got it up.
All right, now again, all this is speculation until we know for sure, because I don't want to go off of just one or two articles that say what happened as opposed to like what actually happened. So this is from USA Today. Rayshard Brooks had been asleep in his car at the drive-through of this Wendys, and it was causing other customers to drive around the car. The Bureau of Investigation, police were dispatched to the Wendys around 10:30 p.m. and conducted a sobriety test on Brooks, who failed the test according to the officials. Hold on. Sobriety test is highlighted. I want to see if another article pops up. Okay, now it's just okay. That brings up the stuff about the two teens from the Moore College issue, the Moore College teens incident. Said that they conducted a sobriety test. He failed it. During the arrest, the male subject resisted and a struggle ensued. The Bureau of Investigation said the officer deployed a taser, which you can see him. He pulls out a taser and he's like hovering it around his arm, but he's not shooting it for some reason. Yeah, it's
well,
like
probably because if he
shoot the fucking taser.
Yeah, probably because it's gonna shoot everybody there. You know, because he could shoot the guy with it, but they'll get electrocuted too.
Hey, fuck it. I mean, like, if that's like, what do cops do anyway? They mace each other and they tase each other so they can know how it feels, right? So this is that situation. Sorry, James. You know what I mean? Like, I have to calm down the situation.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So he pulls out that taser and he's hovering it around his leg, but he doesn't fire it, which to me that was confusing. Maybe he didn't want to shoot it because he just didn't want it to go that far. But when you're already on the ground, with another officer, it's already gone too far.
Yeah, you had two guys trying to hold that guy down, and you should have just tased the whole group. He should have took a step back, tased both of them, and then arrested the guy if he could.
Something. The officer deployed a taser. Witnesses report that during the struggle, the male subject grabbed and was in a possession of the taser. He has also been reported that the male subject was shot by an officer in the struggle over the taser.
Wait.
It wasn't in the struggle over the taser. Yeah,
I was like, wait, okay.
Yeah. It has also been reported that the male subject was shot by an officer in the struggle over the taser. So, as you can see in the video, that was false. He didn't get shot struggling over the taser. He got shot when he was running away.
Yeah, like when I looked at that video, it's like, to me, you can get into the semantics between whether or not the police officer should have shot that black man. But outside of those semantics, it was a righteous shooting. He was fighting back. He was in the wrong. Yeah, maybe he shouldn't have shot him in the back, but I think that's the one thing where I could have been like, okay, well, maybe he could have just chased him down on foot. But outside of that, I mean, if he didn't have no other weapons on him, the guy was fighting back two officers. So it's like, come on, man.
Like, both officers have taser guns. If he took one, how were you not able to shoot him with the other?
Well, maybe.
What happened to the other officer?
Maybe he had his taser on him, supposedly. Let's say, like, if they were fighting a guy, he beats up one and runs off. Maybe the taser that the guy took was the officer that was chasing him and shot him. So maybe the officer is like, okay, well, I don't have time to run back to this other guy and get the taser off his belt.
The other officer had a taser. So if you go back to the video, when he was running, the other officer was carrying a taser with him.
Oh, okay. I thought that was a gun.
No.
And it appears.
See, like, you can see how she has yellow.
Police and firing the taser.
Yeah, you're right.
Police fire.
Look at him. He's holding the taser, but he's not shooting it.
So when did let me just blow this up real quick. So when did?
And he drops to the ground. Atlanta Mayor.
Watch this. Boom. And then he has the taser in one hand.
He went and grabbed his gun with the other hand.
He pulls his gun. With the other hand.
Yeah. I think at that point, it's like, that's where I think he was wrong in that, because that taser's not going to kill him. It's like, that's the kind of reaction I would see if that guy had a real gun and he just popped a shot off in front of his face. You're like, oh shit, that's, and maybe, he had a taser, but maybe it's one of those things where it's like he just went into action mode and just went to training.
I mean, that's what it is. if you get shot at with any kind of thing, you know what I mean? Whether it's a BB gun or not, that's how police are trained to react.
Yeah.
So in a situation like this, I can't really say that, okay, during that time, during adrenaline is pumping, you just got into a fight with a suspect, another officer may be down.
Yeah.
And you're chasing him, you're in pursuit, and then they turn around and fire a weapon at your face. Yeah. It wasn't like he was firing at his chest or anything. He leveled it at his face.
Yeah, it's like at that point, all you saw was a flash of light, and you just he did what anybody would do. Let me duck behind this car. You know, it's like, I mean, granted, but it's, I guess you could say, yeah, like you said, it's debatable.
I mean, it's an upsetting thing to see.
Yeah.
Right. But here's the thing. It's one of those cases where you have a suspect, black, white, whatever, that's doing something illegal. They get confronted by police officers doing their job, answering a call. Again, this is where I'm only going off of what we see in the news article. Answering a call, and we see that he's asleep. They do a sobriety test. He fails the test. The only thing left to do
is arrest him.
Is to arrest, impound the car, because you're driving while drunk. No matter if the car is in park, no matter if the car is like on a street, in a parking lot. Literally, you can get arrested for driving while drunk just by sitting in your car and you're drunk. You don't even have to be driving. The car don't even have to be on. Like that's an issue. If you're in the driver's seat, you're driving while drunk, and that's what he was doing in a public location, impeding traffic. Like there's no other way around that. I'm sorry, there's no other way around that. I don't see what they did when they initially approached him was wrong.
No.
And if a scuffle did happen, it would have been at the car, not like in the middle of the street away from everybody. Like at that point, that means he was already picked up out the car. He was given a test, and they tried to arrest him because what he did was wrong. And honestly, what they probably would have did, they would have impounded his car and took him to jail, and he'd have sat that shit out until he got sober, and then they probably would have released him.
Yep, and he would just have to pay the impound fee to get his car back.
Exactly, that's it. But damn, dude, like you can't right now in this climate, you can't do whatever the fuck you want to do as a black person, no matter if you're protesting or not. You just can't. You will still get murdered.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck?
Yeah. That whole situation could have been prevented by either side, but it's more in the cops' favor. Like, I don't see why the police chief had to step down with that based on that video, unless it's just, hey, political climate, we don't want the heat, take this L. You know, maybe it's something like that where it's just like, look, we just don't want to deal with the political fallback, so yeah, we're gonna let you go. But yeah, if he was just running away and the cop just shot him in the back and he didn't shoot anything behind at him, then I could be like, oh yeah, he just shot that man in the back. We've seen that happen before several times. But
yeah, of course.
But he turned around and fired that taser directly at that man's face.
The other thing is, on the other side, I will say this. I'll commend the officers on the point that they went for their tasers first. Yeah. But the issue is, you didn't fire your fucking taser when you had the opportunity.
Yeah.
Like, you're letting things escalate by not using non-lethal force, and like you had the opportunity to do it twice, actually. One when he was on the ground,
and one when he was running away.
And one when he was running away. The other one when he was running away, bro, you right behind him. Fucking fire your taser, so that way nothing like this can escalate.
Yeah.
That means you can recover your taser. He's not out somewhere with the taser gun, and you can still, like, everything can still be resolved with non-lethal force.
Yeah.
So they waited too long, and they didn't know what to do.
Yeah, it's and when I watched that video, when I read the article, it's the definition of things spiraling out of control. where it's like one thing is one thing that leads to another thing that leads to another thing, and it's just what happened. It's like, it's nobody's real fault that things got this far, but it's just bad luck, you know. Like if things would have happened differently, then it wouldn't have ended like that.
Just like this here, this is not a George Floyd situation. No. It's not.
No, hell no.
It's not. Like I'm sorry, but I'm not saying that guy deserved to die at all.
Hell no.
Like that's the last thing I'm saying. He didn't. What I'm saying is this kind of situation is not cut and dry like a George Floyd case where you have someone that's already restrained and then they just get murdered.
Yeah.
Right. That's not the same thing. You have a suspect resisting, like physically resisting, hitting officers, running away with their weapon, whether it's non-lethal or not, and then you have him fire that weapon. I don't believe that police officer would have even pulled out his gun if he didn't get fired upon first.
I wouldn't think so either, because he didn't go for it immediately when the guy took off running. And
he had the chance. He could have just been like, fuck this, and pulled out his gun and just started shooting, but he didn't.
Yeah, he could have pulled out that gun, took a knee, and shot him right in his back. But it's just, it's one of those things where it's like, I think it's just training. He did what he was trained to do. Somebody fires a gun at you, weapon, taser, what have you, it's still a weapon. It's sad that the guy died, but
extremely sad.
But you know, and maybe you can blame him. Maybe he was drunk and out of it a little bit, but he wasn't out of it enough to fight those cops and run off. I mean, it's just a shitty situation. In other words, it's like, like I wouldn't even be mad at the cops for that. That's the kind of shit that they would just have to deal with and train to be able to expect, but you can't expect everything in life. So it's like, well, what do? You know, you have to fall back on training.
But from what I can tell, it's like, damn, this is the kind of situation that's like, okay, because this happened, you're gonna have the right wing supremacists and all this other shit saying, look, see what I'm saying? You see how that criminal, that thug, or whatever,
did what
was
the
fighting back.
told him.
Why didn't he resist arrest? Why did he do that? He should have just, you know, did what they was told. That wouldn't have happened. He wouldn't have died. He should have took the gun. Like, you'll see all that stuff. And this is the issue that we have, is that when this kind of thing happens, then it makes it makes the side that you want to listen to your argument not pay attention anymore. And now this is something else that they can focus on. Did you see what happened? This is why we don't listen. He deserved to go to jail, but because he wanted to take off, that had to happen. It's like, you don't want to give anybody any fucking reason for doubt.
Yeah.
And this is one of those reasons. So afterwards, when this happened, everyone got on social media. There was probably a post on social media that said, black man shot again by police officers or some shit like that. And then all of a sudden, now you have
people protesting
a
righteous shooting.
At Wendys. Righteous or not, I don't know.
Yeah,
like, that's not my opinion.
I'm just saying it's in the cops' favor. I mean, most of it. So it's just it's not as cut and dry. It ain't like they just shot him. You know, when he was sitting in his car, like the one black guy from years back.
Exactly.
That's something that I would protest for. But like, this is like, okay, well, you know, it's like, I can't look at this and be like, the cops were absolutely in the wrong. Like, fuck no.
No, I can't either. I can't either. Like, I'm looking for something that's like, okay, what really stands out to me is, all right, they're getting to the scuffle, they're pulling tasers. I would pull my taser too. You know what I mean? I don't see anything wrong with that. He's fighting back, they're fighting back. They're not swinging on him like he's getting swung on, or at least from what I can see. And then on the last part, he's running away with the taser in his hand. The other cop has a taser in his hand. It's not a gun. He's holding a taser. He turns back and gets shot at. The police officer gets shot at with a taser. And then at that point, well, he shot with a taser. Should the police officer be like, well, let me shoot with a taser too? In his eyes, he's saw
returning fire.
He heard a gunshot. He's returning fire. So I don't know whether or not, like, he was intentionally saying, I'm gonna kill him now, or damn, I'm being shot upon, let me pull out my gun. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's something for a jury to decide. That's something for more investigation. But from what I've seen, yeah, that's not one of those, he was doing nothing situations, and then they just decided to kill him. What they did to George Floyd was fucking horrible. It was fucking horrible, and it was cut and dry.
Mm-hmm.
What they did to this man, it's not cut and dry, and you cannot compare a George Floyd incident to this. George Floyd, unarmed, handcuffed, on the ground, not moving, knee to the neck. This man, resisting arrest, grab a cop's weapon, whether lethal or non-lethal, runs away from cops, shoots at cops, makes the first shot at cops. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Is it just me, or like, is something really fucking wrong with the logic of a lot of people right now?
They're caught up in their emotions, because technically, all of what you just said, that's called self-defense. Like, he was attacking the cops. I mean, granted, they're cops, but I don't know what people think the cops are supposed to do when they have somebody attacking them. But it's like, yeah, people are just caught up in their emotions and just automatically blaming cops because it's the in thing to do right now for some reason. But yeah, like, anybody looking at that video would be like, yeah, that's fucked up, that guy got shot, but it's not like the one video of, like, that was years back, of the guy was running in the park and the cop just shot his ass in the back and he didn't even have no weapon on him. Or all those other instances, like when that black man got shot up in his car when he got pulled over with his wife and kid and in the car. It's just those incidences where, like, okay, yeah, cops were using excessive force. Now you can say, based on the line of the law and the trainings, whether that was excessive force or not, if the cop pulling out his regular gun instead of using his taser a second time. But that depends on what rule and what rule book they're following and whatever laws and trainings they have in place to determine that. Because otherwise, self-defense.
This is the same situation with David McAtee.
Yeah.
Social media, everyone said that he was shot and he was unarmed. What happened a few days later? They released footage. He had a gun. He fired at the cops. And then it was the answer of
who shot first.
Who shot first? It's not a matter of did he have a gun or not. It's who shot first.
Mm-hmm.
So you, like, don't come at us like, oh, you're this and that, saying that cops are this, cops are that. Like, no. I just want the story. What happened?
Yeah.
What actually happened? And this is, to me, this is one of those situations that it's one of those outliers that we see that this isn't cut and dry, but there's so many more instances where it's not cut and dry, where a shooting wasn't justified, where a police officer did brutally hurt a person, a suspect, or did attack a person of color based on the color of their skin or how they perceive them as a threat, even though they were unarmed and all these other things. A lot of that stuff does happen. And those are the things that you focus on. This is one of those things that was not so cut and dry. It's not. I would feel insulted when a city official placates to make me feel better when they're not actually doing their fucking job and just thoroughly investigating. Because firing police officers at a whim for no reason is just as bad as letting them go, as letting crooked cops stay on the force. Like, you don't possibly get rid of a good cop.
I was about to say that, yeah. Because all the bad cops, are making it so much worse to where you have to get rid of police officers no matter what. Like, that shouldn't be the case. That's not how you run things. Yeah. All of those guys will probably look at that video. They know what happened. And they're gonna be like, oh yeah, that was justified, man. Don't worry about that. And then you see, that's like saying your police chief saying, nah, that ain't right though. You need to be fired. It's like, for what? Why should I fucking work here then if you're just gonna do that to him? It's fucked up.
Maybe that's why. That could be a reason why the police chief stepped down in the first place.
It could be.
Because if the order came from high to fire that man, she was like, nope, can't do it. because I don't see why he should be fired. So she steps to the side.
She was like, fuck
that.
It's like, I'm gonna, maybe something like that, that did go down. Maybe she didn't like the rule. I mean, I don't know who runs the police stations, but I would hope it's not the mayor. But if you're the mayor, I'm pretty sure you got the clout to push people around, So, yeah. I'm hoping it was like that versus the other way.
Me too. Yeah. On this one, both sides were in the wrong on this one, man. There's no other way around that. He was wrong for resisting arrest, for doing something illegal, drinking in your, like being drunk while driving, intoxicated while driving. That's illegal. There's no other way around that.
Yeah.
I need to see body cam footage to really know the truth about it. But for right now, I can't say whether that was justified or not. I can't even say the police officers should be fired for that or not.
Yeah. I
don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I need to hear what's going on. I need audio. I need to see what's going on. I'm so happy that they got footage of it.
Yeah.
That they got bystander footage, that they got surveillance footage. Do I feel like he deserves to die? No, nope. I don't.
But doing dumb shit.
It's one of those situations that what has every black mother or father told their kids? If you get pulled over by the cops, yes sir, no sir, no ma'am, yes ma'am, obey their fucking rules and try to fight it in court.
Yeah. And granted, a lot of times with police, you can do all that and still get fucked up. So I'm not saying that that's right. We shouldn't have to do that. We shouldn't have to.
Oh, no, we shouldn't have to.
Yeah, we shouldn't have to tell our kids that, but it's the likelihood of something not happening to you if you do this. And if he'd have did that, he would have probably been still alive right now. It's just the fact that he chose not to and things ended the way they did. It's fucked up, but it's what happened. But
yeah, I don't know what to tell you, YouTube. It doesn't seem as cut and dry to me.
Yeah,
it just doesn't.
Yeah, it looks justified, or at least in my opinion, it looks justified, but that don't mean it is justified. So, I mean, maybe once they release that footage, maybe something will happen. Maybe the guy had a reason for trying to run away from the cops, and I don't mean that in the illegal way, like he was up to something and that's why he ran. No, I mean, like maybe they were saying like, oh yeah, let's kill this black man. And he was like, oh shit. And then he tried to, dip off. We don't know, I mean, it could be a bunch of things, but just judging on the footage, it looks like the cops were somewhat in the right. I'd give them a good 70%. Like it's, they have a passing grade depending on their rule book and their trainings. Because unless that says something different, I mean, it is what it is.
I wish he didn't turn around and shoot.
Yeah.
Like I wish he didn't turn around and shoot. Like he shot at him first. At that point, it is up to the officers to do whatever they think is right.
And if he thought that, oh, I got to put this guy down because I don't know what he's going to do if he's willing to do this,
Well, I mean, it's just one of those things. It's like it's not.
Yeah, it's not.
I can't say it. I can't say it anymore. It's not cut and dry. Yeah. It's just not. It's unfortunate, but I honestly don't think that this is one of those situations where you would put this right next to a George Floyd incident either and say that they're the same.
Hell
they're not
no.
the same.
Hell no, they are not the same. It's a night and day difference. No.
Or any of those other ones that died, just like when the police went there and shot that guy that had the BB gun in his hand.
Yeah,
he's just walking around with it. They didn't have to shoot him.
Yeah,
he could have told him to put the gun down.
Mm-hmm.
He was just standing there.
Yeah, or shot him with non-lethals. Stuff. Tase him, beanbag rounds, do something, knock him on his ass. Those are situations where it's like, okay, yeah, protest those because they're in the absolute fucking wrong. Because they didn't have to just shoot first, but this, no.
Anyway, what do you guys think? Do you think that they were in the right? Do you think they were in the wrong? Do you think we're wrong? I'm always open to opinion. Just know that if you comment, I will try to conversate with you in the comment section. So don't run away if I'm asking for if I'm asking for proof, if I'm asking for video, if I'm asking just to have a dialogue with you. We do like to talk.
Yeah.
We do like to have conversations. And if it's something that you feel that we're missing, let us know.
Yeah.
You know, especially let me know. I love to hear other people's point of views. I'm all.
Yeah, and if you come in the comments section cussing us out, I will curse you out. You know, it is what it is. So if you bring that heat, you're gonna get heat back. That's what I'm just saying.
Get that smoke. If there's a video that you guys want us to react to, want us our opinions on, you can leave it in the comments, or you can hit us up on social media. My Twitter handle is in the description below.
All right, and I guess I'm going to do the outro on this one, so we will see you guys next time, YouTube. Hope you have a wonderful evening. Deuces.
Be safe out there.